podcast, lovealadijonnaise. Thank you so much, guys, for being here another weekend with us once again, giving us the opportunities to reach you out there, whatever you are in the world, and in whatever device you're listening to us. Thank you again, and welcome to my beautiful girlfriend.
Hello, guys, welcome back this weekend again. As my boyfriend said, welcome from whatever device you're listening to us. Hopefully, you're enjoying your fall weather.
Yeah.
And how are you today?
I'm fine, my love. Thank you so much for asking. Everything is going perfect, but it would be better if it was cloudy and snowy.
Oh my god, now we're recording, it's almost the end of summer in Mexico. September what, the 3rd, we're recording this episode. We're pre-recording them, as you know, because we're right now together. Impossible, I'm sorry.
I know, it's impossible.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, guys, today we wanted to talk about something that is very necessary. Maybe it's gonna be a very short episode, and you're gonna see why. Because in reality, there are not a lot of things to talk about, but about the main ones, which is the money in a relationship. I mean, the topic of money in a relationship.
I think now, if you did an eye roll, I'm sorry, but yes, this topic is very important. So please continue listening, so hopefully you can take our advices into your own relationship, because sadly, a lot of relationships break because of the money. Even divorces happen because of the money. Apparently, statistics says that because of money, I mean, it's one of the highest reason, like the rates.
One of the main reasons.
That why divorces happen. But we're gonna be talking from our perspective, and not really like how to manage like expenses and stuff, because clearly we don't live together, and still our parents don't let us buy groceries.
Yeah, whenever we're visiting.
We're gonna be mostly talking about from the perspective of doing couple activities, like going out for dinner, movies, bowling, blah blah. Even traveling, we can also talk about that, because we
that's
tend
what
to
we do. And I think we should begin especially with the part of how, I mean, in the background, how do we have our relationship with money, but you on your case, me on my case. I mean, as we were growing up, of course, we learned from someone or some people how to manage money. And that's the result of how do we manage our money in the relationship right now. So let's explain, first of all, our background, and then we start saying maybe how do we manage internally.
From our individual. So I start? I start. Okay. Me as an individual, for what I remember from when I was a child, I always used to listen to this sentence, which kind of, to me, fine, makes sense, but on the other side, I agree and disagree with this sentence. Like, save your money for for difficult times. I don't know why, but that sentence used to be very popular in my family, but throughout the years it changed, because people in my family, they realize it's like, no, why would you save money for difficult times and not enjoying life right now? Because as we always say, you only have one life, and you should live your day to its maximum, and you should enjoy your day. So that through years it started changing, and I have like, okay, yes, I agree but disagree with this sentence. But now that I'm older, and before we became a couple, I started more disagreeing than agreeing with this sentence. Why? Because I also agree with the fact that, why would I save for difficult times? Yes, you should have maybe a bit saved, but if I'm living right now, if my life is now, and I'm in the present, and I want to enjoy my present, my life this day, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna spend on whatever I want to spend. Of course, not abusing from it, but I want to enjoy,
Yeah, and I think, I'm sorry for interrupting you. You can continue, but now that you were saying that, the first thing that popped up in my mind, and that I think that's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that your whole family has been telling you that, and since you were a child, it's because of your family is coming from a war.
True. Now, that makes sense. Because to point out, my family comes from war. if you don't know, I think everyone knows about the
The war
famous
of Yugoslavia. Yeah.
the famous Balkan War, and I think that's why they used to say that. But with years, they realized it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like for tough times because, well, hopefully, nothing like that repeats again. But yeah, I think we all realize it's important to live in the moment right now and enjoy from the things, because that's what life matters about, and not when you get older you say, damn, I sorry for the word, damn, I didn't do anything because I was saving and saving and saving. At the end you have a lot of money, but you couldn't go to travel, you couldn't buy yourself maybe something you wanted, or because you're always like a saver.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I completely agree with this thing. I mean, of course, you should always have something saved
Mm-hmm.
because you never know what happens. You never know if you're gonna have an illness. You never know if an accident is gonna happen, and for some reason you're gonna need money, or you never know if a good opportunity is gonna come and it requires some investment. So of course, you always need to have money saved, but of course, at the same time, as you said, like this is a current time we're living, we are enjoying our life, why not to enjoy also from our money? Like as we were saying a couple of episodes ago, you work for money, and the money, it's like for what? For being saved? Not really.
Not
I
really,
mean, of
no.
course, when you want to save for something like something bigger, like
Yes,
a nice trip, or for example, like when you're forming a family, well, you're saving money for a house, you're saving money for children's school, you're saving money for this and that and that. And every step in life, I mean, every part of life, there are different responsibilities and different reasons why humans save money. But for example, at this age, and of course we're gonna talk about our age because our responsibilities are to work, maybe you to finish school and other type of things, maybe help in the house and stuff. But in reality, there is anything else. I mean, it's not
yeah.
like a house or something like that. So why not enjoy from our money? In our case, our passion is to travel. Why not to enjoy, for example, on trips? And that's the thing. The problem comes when you start saving money for something that doesn't even exist. And at the end, you arrive, and maybe something comes out, an illness or something, change your plans, and all that money you were saving for that thing that you were dreaming about, or not even, some people even save money without even knowing why are they saving money. They just
Mm-hmm.
don't want to spend on stuff,
Exactly.
and their future comes with something unexpected, as because that's usually how it is. Future is very unexpected, and they don't use the money for whatever they needed. So why not to use it now?
That's why I agree with whatever you said, and especially in our stage now of like our age in life. What are we saving for? We don't have a lot of responsibility. So,
No.
yes, it's good to save for something if an illness comes or whatever, or something bigger, but also enjoy from it. So, that's my personal point of view about the money as an individual, and that's how, well, I came into the relationship. Yes, it's good to save, but also if you want to, like in our case, we like to travel, fine, we spend it on our travels, why
Mm-hmm.
not?
Our trips.
On our trips, why not? Of course, not abusing from it, but yeah, to enjoy and have
Yeah.
and create nice memories together.
No, I know. In my case, has been kind of different. I mean, yeah, it's been about saving money, but it's not about it for hard times. Because I mean,
It's just different.
my family is not coming from a war.
No, my family comes.
It's understandable.
It's
They're coming from a
understandable
very traumatic part of their lives,
experience.
yeah, an experience. So it's understandable that they lived a war, something that is horrible. And of course, I also know that as children, they never imagined they were gonna need money for something, because of course you need money to move out of the country. But anyway, it's different. In my case, of course, my family is not coming from a war, although it's coming from a very problematic country. But it's not coming from a war, which is at the end different. But it's always been like the culture of saving in my family, and since I was a child, they taught me how to save money, but also to use money, and to say like, okay, you want this. That most part of the times was because of video games, because I love video games. And for example, my mom used to tell me like, okay, you want this video game, okay, then start saving money. And I remember they used to give me money. Don't even remember how much. It was a bit, of course, I was a child. And I remember not spending on chips and snacks and stuff, which I'm a snack lover in school. And at the end, after I don't know how many months or years, I used to buy myself the video game I always wanted. But I always had that culture, right? Like, okay, I want this, I'm gonna save for it, and once I get it, fine, I start spending on other things. That with age, I started realizing that, yeah, maybe I can be saving money for something I really want, but that doesn't mean that on the way, I can't give myself like some cravings that I have.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like, I mean, we're gonna talk about our relationship now, but our trips that we need to be traveling to see each other. Yeah, of course, like it's not expensive. Of course, it's expensive. It's not cheap at all. But that doesn't mean like while I'm saving for my trip to Europe, for example, I can buy myself something I always wanted. For example, like I'm a 25-year-old child basically, and
Basically.
I bought myself an Xbox, a
Oh
new
my
generation
god.
one, which is something like, yeah, I was wondering like at what time am I supposed to play? I work and stuff, but I was like, no, I really want it because since I was a child, I used to play, and now in my free times after I do everything that is productive, I start losing time on Xbox. But at least it's something that I said, hey, I wanted it, and I bought it to myself.
I'm my 25-year-old
Child,
child.
basically.
It's literally like that. Yes, and I think as we started growing up, we realized, okay, maybe what our families say, fine, it's true, but not 100%. We can kind of create our own relationship and what a relationship with money and how it kind of, how you say, I forgot the word, how is um how it suits us, how it's good for us, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that as you said, fine, we're spending on we're saving for our trips between Europe and Mexico, but during that time, why not to treat ourselves? You bought yourself your Xbox. Me, because I love Pandora, is the jewelry brand. I spend on that. It is not the cheapest one, but once in a while I treat myself, and
Yeah.
that's completely okay.
Or for example, our sneakers.
Oh my god, our oh
We
no,
treat ourselves
oh
with our
god.
first one that we wanted like since years ago, and they're not cheap at all. They're very expensive sneakers, but still,
We treated
we treat
ourselves.
ourselves.
Why not?
Yeah. So now let's talk about our relationship. How do we manage money in our relationship? For example, when we go out on dates and stuff, but also when we go on trips together, and our philosophy of how the relationship based on money should be. To begin, let's say, I mean, of course, this already you already know, guys, from first season, and if you're new, well, you are about to know. But in our relationship, we have this. It's not a rule, but this is the way it works.
A philosophy.
Yeah,
Call it a
philosophy of
philosophy.
how our relationship should be based on money is that we spend equal. Like
Yeah.
any of each other spends more than the other. And that, for example, if we link it to, like, for example, going out on a date, dinner, or whatever, that's gonna mean that each once in a time that we go out for a dinner or a date, let's call it just for a meal out, one is gonna pay, and that means that the next time we go out, the other one is gonna pay, and the whole bill. Unless we go to expensive places that we see, like, okay, maybe the last time, for example, if it was my turn, I ended up paying, I don't know, like 25 euros. I'm gonna talk about euros, okay? And our whole meal with drinks included and stuff was 25 euros. But this time we went to a bit expensive restaurant, and it was Samstern, and I see that the bill is gonna be more than 30 something euros without even the drinks. Then, for example, I tell her, okay, I pay the drinks, you pay the meal.
Yeah, so if we really see that it's gonna be too expensive, we split, and of course the one who started was pays the highest,
yeah, the expensiest part.
And the other one just helps, you know. I think that's fair and that's okay. And it's the same with when, for example, we do activities like going bowling or something, playing pool, I don't know. We're just like, oh, today I pay. The next time we do another activity that doesn't involve food, of course, you pay. And that's how
it works. Or, for example, a couple of days ago we went bowling. Now that you brought up the example, we played two games. The first game I paid, and the second game she paid. Basically.
Yeah, because we wanted to play more, and we're like, okay, now I pay, and it was equal.
Which is very different to other couples, and here's what we're gonna mention it. that they believe that the guy should pay everything the whole time.
I know, I can't with those
And
couples.
there are some girls that they even get annoyed,
No, I
literally,
know, and
if the guy doesn't pay or if the guy doesn't have enough money.
yeah, and sadly, let me tell you, there are some cases also, for example, in Europe also
Yeah.
happens. It's like they get annoyed, it's like, oh, he didn't pay, he didn't have enough money, and I had to, add, dude, he's your
Yeah, not
boyfriend.
your personal bank.
Exactly, not your
Literally.
personal bank. But there are also other extremes when a boyfriend sees that the girlfriend, I don't know, either wins more money, has more money, whatever, he starts abusing.
Yeah, I know.
He's
It starts abusing and starts feeling bad, which is something that shouldn't happen because in the guy's head will be like, the girl is winning more than me, which is completely fine, and I'm happy actually.
we agree with
Yeah, that we
that.
agree with that. And that the guy says like, oh no, my god, like I feel like if I was useless.
But
And they literally believe they're useless because the girl is paying something for them.
and then again we come, that's what society tells you, that's how they taught the person from young age,
Yeah.
how it should be. But no, I think in a relationship should be like 50-50, like when you bring with money, and it's only fair that you say, oh, today I pay, next time you pay, and it's like that, not abusing one from the other, because as you said, we're not each other's personal bank.
No, basically.
No.
And why will you abuse from the other person if at the end of the story, if you start abusing from that person, literally it's gonna start affecting you because it's a couple. Like literally,
Yeah.
whatever happens to one in some way is gonna affect the other person. So why are we gonna start abusing of money, literally an economical way of the person, if at the end the only thing you're gonna get is that you're gonna end up with the money of this other person, and that's gonna carry on problems.
But a lot of people don't realize that because they think it's okay mostly for the guy to pay everything.
Yeah, which is, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's kind of cute, especially for example when it's a surprise or when it's a
Yeah.
present or something. But like a normal hangout, I don't see the problem on once in a while. Of course, the girl pays. In our case, is we take turns, as we mentioned already, one and one. We know exceptions, literally. Like we always know whenever we go out somewhere, it's like, okay, who paid last time? Ah, me. Ah, okay, then you pay, and the other wise,
That's how
literally
we
the other
do
way
it.
around.
And also I think in some way, as a woman or as a girl, gives you like, um how would I say, like a feeling of independency, and that you can do it as well, and
Yeah,
that you shouldn't depend of like, oh, my boyfriend is gonna pay for me. No, I can
yeah,
pay for him as well, I can pay for both of us,
exactly.
and it should be like that. But also, whenever I mention to people, because people have asked me, I don't know if they have asked you, but for example, like, how do you pay when you go out for a dinner date, or you do go bowling or do
Mm-hmm.
activities? And I say, well, we pay today, for example, I pay, and in 3 days we go somewhere, Felipe is gonna pay, so
Mm-hmm.
we change. And people were surprised, but how? Isn't it supposed to that he should pay, or like, why doesn't he pay, or how does that make you feel that he doesn't pay? I'm like, that makes me feel okay, because one, he's not my personal bank, as you say. Two, I'm independent and capable of paying a meal, or I don't know, other activity date for both of us, and it's fair because I'm
Yeah.
not abusing.
No, I know exactly. In my case, it's not that someone has asked me. I've seen that some people they get surprised, especially for example when we go out with someone and that person sees that you take out your car, you pay the whole meal, but not that they tell me. Thanks God, my friends are very open minded, and no one has ever told me something. Actually, my friends, the ones that they have asked me how do we deal with the money, they were surprised, but they were happy, and they were like, "Oh my God, that's a very cool idea. I never thought about it." And they have told me like, I mean, the ones that they have asked me, they don't have a couple now, but they have told me like, whenever I have someone, I would like to replicate what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's a healthy way,
Yeah.
because like that, you don't make the guy feel like less or useless if you're
Yeah.
only paying for them, and for the girl, you're not making her feel like, oh, it's okay to abuse because you're my personal bank. and that it's okay that I depend on you, you know?
Exactly.
It's healthy. I think that's what we are doing. It's pretty healthy.
No, it's pretty nice, and you should always find a balance and
Mm-hmm.
try not the other to spend more than what you're spending to make it equal.
Literally, we had ever had any argument because of that? Never.
No, never in our life.
Never.
Basically, in these 4 years and something more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also to mention, with traveling is as well the same. Let's exclude the one when we have to do the big trip, because that one we pay by ourselves, our own.
Yeah, visiting each other is a part. Of course, one is gonna spend super a lot, but because it's their turn to visit.
To visit. But meaning like when we are either in Europe or in Mexico, oh, we want to go, I don't know, to...
let's say whatever. Let's say La Paz.
La Paz, that's exactly what I wanted to say. To La Paz, we went. How did we do it? One paid the hotel, the other one paid the plane tickets, and what else it was?
I mean, usually the one that pays the plane tickets is the one that spends the most, because plane tickets are expensive. So the hotel, I think like that time, I paid hotel, you pay the plane tickets, and what we did is like the meals went on my side. Like I paid the meals.
And that was fair.
Yeah.
It was at the end equal.
Yeah, because I think like you ended up paying like 2,000 something pesos more like me, which is like almost 100 euros more than me. And because of that, I ended up paying most part of the meals and the gas, for example, when we rented the car and I paid.
Yeah, so at the end it was equal because of course plane tickets are expensive. Yeah. We do it, we do our chart and we say, okay, I'm gonna pay this time plane tickets, you pay hotel, the meals, and the rest we see.
Yeah, exactly. It's
also fair and not like you pay everything because you're the guy.
Yeah,
the whole trip.
No, believe us, guys. Start doing that with your couples. Try managing, and for that, you just need to sit down with the person and say, "Hey, this is how it's gonna work. This is what I propose." Get to an agreement, and believe us, guys, you're gonna avoid having a lot of uncomfortable and annoying arguments.
Yeah, and awkward.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was pretty much what we wanted to talk about with you today. We know it's kind of a controversial topic because also it depends a lot of the culture and how your parents taught you that the other one should be, but you're on good time and a good age to start changing everything if they taught you that the man always pays and the girl never pays, because we all are equal, we all are humans, and the same effort that the guy does for getting the money working is the same effort the girl does, and any other case is fair that one ends up being burned out with money than the other. So get to an agreement.
I agree with everything you said, and I couldn't even say it better. Yeah. So hopefully you took notes from this episode. Also think how your relationship with money is as an individual. What can you change? What do you think is like, oh, maybe this is not okay, I can change that. And of course, having a healthy relationship with money within a relationship.
Exactly. But well, thank you so much, guys, for giving us the opportunity once again of being here. And Sammy's gonna share the media.
As usual, you can find us everywhere at lovealadijonnaise podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, and podcast platforms as well. And we'll be back next weekend with a new episode.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.